Have you ever wondered about the hidden stories behind the vibrant cultures of Nigeria? This video takes you on a journey to uncover the rich histories of the powerful kingdoms that shaped the nation, revealing fascinating tales that have been largely forgotten. Section 1. Exploring the ancient legacy. Long before the modern nation of Nigeria came into existence, the land was home to a mosaic of powerful and independent kingdoms, each with its own unique culture, language, and system of governance. These kingdoms thrived across the vast and diverse landscapes of what is now Nigeria, from the savannas of the north to the rainforests of the south. Pre-colonial Nigeria was not a monolithic entity, but a vibrant tapestry of civilizations. The people of these regions developed complex societies with intricate political structures, advanced economic systems, and rich cultural traditions. These societies were deeply rooted in their environments and histories, and they interacted with one another through trade, diplomacy, and sometimes conflict. Among the earliest known civilizations in Nigeria was the Nok culture, which flourished between 1000 BCE and 300 CE in what's now central Nigeria. The Nok people are renowned for their terracotta sculptures, which are among the oldest known in sub-Saharan Africa. These artifacts reveal a sophisticated artistic tradition and suggest the existence of a complex society with skilled artisans and organized social structures. As time progressed, other powerful kingdoms emerged, such as the Igbo Ukwu, known for their advanced bronze work, the Yoruba city-states, including Ife and Oyo, the Benin Kingdom in the south, and the Kanem-Bornu Empire and Hausa city-states in the north. Each of these civilizations contributed to the rich historical and cultural heritage of Nigeria. Despite their significance, many of these histories remain underrepresented in mainstream narratives. The term hidden histories refers to the stories, achievements, and legacies of these kingdoms that have been overshadowed by colonial accounts or neglected in modern education systems. These histories are not only fascinating, but also essential for understanding the roots of Nigerian identity and the resilience of its people. In this video, we aim to bring these hidden histories to light, celebrating the ingenuity, strength, and cultural richness of Nigeria's ancient kingdoms. By exploring their legacies, we gain a deeper appreciation for the foundations upon which modern Nigeria is built. Section 2. The Rise of Powerful Kingdoms. As we journey deeper into the hidden histories of Nigeria, we encounter the rise of powerful kingdoms that not only shaped the region, but also left an indelible mark on African history. These kingdoms were centers of political power, economic prosperity, and cultural innovation. Among the most prominent were the Benin Kingdom, the Oyo Empire, and the Kanem-Bornu Empire. The Benin Kingdom, located in present-day Edo State, the Benin Kingdom was one of the most advanced and organized states in pre-colonial Africa. It reached its zenith between the 13th and 19th centuries. The kingdom was renowned for its sophisticated administration, military prowess, and artistic achievements. At the heart of Benin's success was its monarchy, led by the Oba. One of the most celebrated rulers was Oba Ewar the Great, who reigned in the 15th century. Ewar is credited with transforming Benin into a powerful and centralized state. He expanded the kingdom's territory, restructured its political system, and initiated major urban development projects, including the construction of massive earthworks and moats that surround the capital city. Benin was also famous for its bronze and ivory artworks, which were created by highly skilled guilds under royal patronage. These artworks, many of which are now housed in museums around the world, depict scenes of court life, warfare, and religious rituals, offering a window into the kingdom's rich cultural life. The Oyo Empire. To the west, the Oyo Empire emerged as a dominant force among the Yoruba people. Founded in the 14th century, Oyo grew into a formidable empire through a combination of military strength, strategic diplomacy, and economic acumen. The political structure of Oyo was highly sophisticated. At its head was the Alafin, or king, who ruled with the support of a powerful council known as the Oyo Mesi. This system of checks and balances ensured a degree of accountability and stability within the empire. One of the most notable rulers was Alafin Ajagbo, who is remembered for his military campaigns and administrative reforms. Under his leadership, Oyo expanded its influence across much of southwestern Nigeria and into parts of modern-day Benin and Togo. Oyo's economy was bolstered by its control of trade routes and its cavalry-based military, which allowed it to dominate neighboring states. The empire was also a center of culture and religion, with elaborate festivals, oral traditions, and a deep reverence for the Yoruba pantheon of deities. The Kanem-Bornu Empire. In the northeastern region of Nigeria, the Kanem-Bornu Empire stood as a beacon of Islamic scholarship and political stability. With origins dating back to the 9th century, Kanem-Bornu was one of the longest-lasting empires in African history. The empire reached its peak under the rule of Idris Aluma in the late 16th century. Aluma was a visionary leader who implemented judicial reforms, built roads and mosques, and strengthened the empire's military. He also established diplomatic relations with the Ottoman Empire and other Islamic states, enhancing Kanem-Bornu's prestige and influence. Kanem-Bornu was a hub of trans-Saharan trade, dealing in goods such as salt, horses, textiles, and slaves. It was also a center of Islamic learning, with scholars and clerics playing a prominent role in society. These kingdoms, Benin, Oyo, and Kanem-Bornu, demonstrate the diversity and complexity of pre-colonial Nigerian civilizations. Their achievements in governance, art, military strategy, and culture challenge the often simplistic portrayals of African societies and highlight the continent's rich historical legacy. Section 3. Cultural riches and artistic expressions. The kingdoms of pre-colonial Nigeria were not only centers of political and economic power, they were also vibrant cultural hubs where art, music, dance, and storytelling flourished. These cultural expressions were deeply woven into the fabric of daily life and played a crucial role in preserving history, reinforcing social values, and celebrating communal identity. Traditional music and dance. Music and dance were integral to the spiritual and social life of these kingdoms. In the Yoruba and Benin kingdoms, drumming was more than entertainment. It was a language. The talking drum, for instance, could mimic the tonal patterns of speech, allowing drummers to communicate messages across distances or during ceremonies. Each kingdom had its own unique musical instruments and styles. The Hausa people of the north used instruments like the kakaki, a long metal trumpet, during royal processions, while the Igbo employed the ojin, a metal gong, in rituals and storytelling. Dance was equally diverse, with each ethnic group developing movements that reflected their environment, beliefs, and social structures. These performances were not merely artistic, they were deeply symbolic. They marked rites of passage, honored ancestors, celebrated harvests, and reinforced the authority of kings and chiefs. Through rhythm and movement, communities expressed their collective identity and passed down their values to future generations. Storytelling and oral traditions. In a world without widespread literacy, oral traditions were the primary means of preserving history and transmitting knowledge. Griots, bards, and elders served as living libraries, recounting epic tales, genealogies, and moral lessons through spoken word. The Yoruba told stories of the Orisha, divine beings who governed the forces of nature and human destiny. The Hausa recounted the exploits of legendary warriors and wise rulers. The Igbo shared parables that taught ethical behavior and communal responsibility. These stories were not static. They evolved with each telling, adapting to new contexts while retaining their core messages. They were performed with flair, often accompanied by music, dance, and dramatic gestures, making them memorable and engaging for audiences of all ages. Art and architecture. Perhaps the most visually striking legacy of these kingdoms lies in their art and architecture. The Benin bronzes, created using the lost wax casting technique, are among the most celebrated artworks in African history. These intricate plaques and sculptures adorned the royal palace and depicted scenes of court life, warfare, and religious rituals. The Ife Kingdom, considered the spiritual heart of the Yoruba people, produced remarkably naturalistic terracotta and bronze heads that date back to the 12th century. These artworks demonstrate a high level of technical skill and aesthetic sophistication, challenging outdated notions that African art was primitive or simplistic. In the north, the Kanem-Bornu and Hausa states built impressive mud brick architecture, including mosques, palaces, and city walls. The Gidan Rumfa in Kano, for example, is one of the oldest palaces in West Africa and remains a symbol of Hausa architectural ingenuity. These artistic and architectural achievements were not isolated. They were part of a broader cultural ecosystem that included textiles, beadwork, pottery, and body art. Each piece told a story, conveyed status, or served a ritual purpose, reflecting the values and worldview of its creators. Influence on modern Nigerian culture. The cultural legacies of these kingdoms continue to shape contemporary Nigerian society. Traditional festivals like the Osun-Osogbo Festival, the Durbar in Kano, and the Eid Festival in Benin draw on ancient customs and attract both local and international audiences. Modern Nigerian music, from Afrobeats to highlife, incorporates rhythms and instruments rooted in traditional forms. Fashion designers draw inspiration from historical textiles and motifs, while filmmakers and writers explore themes from oral traditions and folklore. By celebrating these cultural riches, Nigerians affirm their connection to a proud and creative heritage, one that continues to inspire and evolve in the modern world. Section 4. The Legacy of Resistance. The story of Nigeria's kingdoms is not only one of cultural brilliance and political sophistication, it is also a story of resilience. As European powers expanded their colonial ambitions in Africa during the 19th century, the kingdoms of Nigeria found themselves under increasing pressure. Yet, many of them did not submit quietly. They resisted through diplomacy, warfare, and cultural defiance, leaving behind a legacy of courage that continues to inspire. Early encounters and growing tensions, European contact with Nigerian kingdoms began as early as the 15th century, primarily through trade. The Portuguese, Dutch, and later, the British engaged in commerce with coastal states like Benin and the Niger Delta city-states. Initially, these relationships were mutually beneficial, with African rulers trading goods such as ivory, palm oil, and later, tragically, enslaved people. However, as European powers shifted from trade to territorial control in the 19th century, tensions escalated. The British, in particular, sought to impose their authority through treaties, military expeditions, and the establishment of protectorates. This encroachment was met with fierce resistance from many Nigerian kingdoms. Benin's defiance and the 1897 punitive expedition, one of the most dramatic examples of resistance, came from the Benin Kingdom. For centuries, Benin had maintained its independence and carefully managed its relations with European traders. But by the late 19th century, British officials sought to open up Benin to unrestricted trade and colonial administration. In 1897, after a British delegation was ambushed under disputed circumstances, the British launched a full-scale military invasion known as the Benin Punitive Expedition. The city was captured, looted, and burned. Thousands of priceless artworks, including the famous Benin bronzes, were taken and dispersed to museums across Europe. Despite the devastation, the resistance of Benin remains a powerful symbol of defiance. The Oba was exiled, but the monarchy survived, and today, the royal institution continues to play a vital cultural role in Edo State. The Sokoto Caliphate and Northern Resistance. In the north, the Sokoto Caliphate, a powerful Islamic state founded by Usman Dan Fodio in the early 19th century, also resisted British colonization. The Caliphate had established a vast and well-organized system of governance based on Islamic law and scholarship. British forces, under the guise of ending the slave trade and bringing civilization, launched a series of military campaigns to dismantle the Caliphate. Despite fierce resistance, including battles led by local emirs and warriors, the British eventually captured Sokoto in 1903. However, they retained much of the Caliphate's administrative structure, incorporating it into the system of indirect rule. This pragmatic approach allowed traditional rulers to maintain some authority, but it also disrupted indigenous governance and subordinated it to colonial interests. Cultural resistance and survival. Not all resistance was military. Many communities engaged in cultural resistance, preserving their languages, religions, and customs in the face of colonial suppression. Traditional festivals, oral histories, and indigenous knowledge systems were maintained, often in secret or adapted to new circumstances. Women also played crucial roles in resisting colonial policies. The ABA Women's War of 1929, led by Igbo women in southeastern Nigeria, was a mass protest against colonial taxation and administrative abuses. It demonstrated the power of grassroots mobilization and the central role of women in defending community rights. The impact of colonial rule. Colonialism brought profound changes to Nigerian societies. Traditional power structures were altered or dismantled. Economies were reoriented to serve European markets. Cultural practices were often marginalized or demonized. Education and religion were used as tools of assimilation, promoting European values while undermining indigenous worldviews. Yet the legacy of resistance endured. The memory of past glories and struggles inspired later generations of nationalists who fought for independence in the 20th century. Figures like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, and Ahmadu Bello drew on the histories of their people to articulate visions of a free and united Nigeria. These stories of resistance remind us that the kingdoms of Nigeria were not passive victims of history. They were active agents, defending their sovereignty, preserving their cultures, and laying the groundwork for future liberation. Section 5. Looking forward. As we reflect on the hidden histories of Nigeria's ancient kingdoms, it becomes clear that these stories are not just relics of the past. They are living legacies that continue to shape the present and inspire the future. The cultural, political, and spiritual foundations laid by these civilizations remain deeply embedded in the fabric of Nigerian society. Enduring influence in contemporary Nigeria. The influence of these kingdoms is visible in many aspects of modern Nigeria. Traditional institutions, such as the Oba of Benin, the Emir of Kano, and the Uni of Ife, still command respect and play important roles in community leadership, conflict resolution, and cultural preservation. These figures serve as custodians of heritage, linking the past to the present. In politics, the legacy of pre-colonial governance systems can be seen in the emphasis on consensus building, communal decision-making, and the balancing of power among diverse groups. While Nigeria's modern political system is based on democratic principles, it continues to grapple with the challenges of managing ethnic and cultural diversity, a complexity that the ancient kingdoms navigated in their own ways. Culturally, the traditions of music, dance, storytelling, and art continue to thrive. Nigerian artists, musicians, and filmmakers draw inspiration from historical themes, reimagining them for contemporary audiences. The global success of Nigerian creatives in literature, Nollywood, and Afrobeats is a testament to the enduring power of these cultural roots. The importance of historical awareness. Recognizing and celebrating these hidden histories is not just an academic exercise. It is a vital step toward national healing and unity. For too long, colonial narratives have dominated the telling of African history, often portraying indigenous societies as static or inferior. By reclaiming and amplifying the stories of Nigeria's kingdoms, we challenge these misconceptions and affirm the dignity and achievements of African civilizations. Historical awareness also fosters a sense of pride and identity, especially among younger generations. When people understand where they come from, they are better equipped to shape where they are going. Schools, museums, and media have a crucial role to play in making these histories accessible and engaging, encouraging exploration and engagement. There's still so much to discover. Archaeological sites, oral traditions, and historical documents continue to offer new insights into Nigeria's past. Scholars, artists, and community leaders are working to preserve and share this knowledge, but they need support from governments, institutions, and the public. Viewers are encouraged to explore further. Visit historical sites like the Benin Royal Palace, the Oyo Sacred Groves, or the ancient city walls of Kano. Attend cultural festivals, read books by Nigerian historians, and engage with elders who carry the oral traditions of their communities. In doing so, we not only honor the past, we enrich the present and build a more inclusive and informed future. The hidden histories of Nigeria's kingdoms are stories of brilliance, resilience, and creativity. They remind us that Africa has always been a continent of innovation and complexity. By uncovering these narratives, we reclaim a heritage that belongs to all Nigerians, and indeed to the world. Let this be the beginning of a deeper journey into the heart of Nigeria's past. The kingdoms may no longer rule, but their legacies live on. In the rhythms of the drum, the wisdom of the elders, and the spirit of people who continue to rise.